Okay, so I'm going to create the second isometric, which I'm going to start with an overall box, an overall cube, which is from the front view 11 by 4 tall. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to start a new design. I'm going to save it right away. I'm going to call it isometric 2, or just call it ISO 2. Close my keyboard, and then I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to touch the front plane just like that, and then I'm going to create a rectangle, and I'm going to click hold on that center origin, and I'm going to drag out, and then when I drag out and I let go with my stylus, I do have to touch the screen at a second point to create that second corner point. Now there's no dimensions on this rectangle. It doesn't know how big it needs to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sketch dimension, and I'm going to click with my stylus, and I'm going to hold and drag down and let go. And then I'm going to tap it again on the numbers, and then they're going to appear, and then I can open up my keyboard by clicking on the little picture of the keyboard up here, and then I'm going to type in 11 for my dimension and press return, and then close my keyboard. Now the rectangle got really big, so I better zoom out and maybe hit the little hand and pan, and then I'm going to go back to create another dimension, click, hold and drag and let go, and then tap that dimension and tell it to be, with my keyboard, 4 inches tall. And then I'm going to finish my sketch. I don't know if I actually made that 4 inches tall because my keyboard was in the way and I finished my sketch. So I can check that if I click the little arrow next to my sketches and I highlight that sketch and I double click on that sketch. Oops, I double clicked on the words and now I'm editing the name of the sketch. I'm going to double click on the actual sketch itself, and it opens it up again. So I did actually add that 4 by 11. So now I'm going to finish it again. And then I'm going to click on my cube in the corner and go to an isometric view just so it's easier to see. And then I'm going to look again at my drawing and see that it needs to be extruded to a total of 5 units deep. So that is going to require me to click on the extrude button, and then I'm going to drag this arrow back for 5 units. I can drag it and just wait till it says -5, or I could type that number in, making sure it says new body for my operation type, and then I'm going to click OK. So now I have my my box, overall box. So my next operation, I think, is going to be to take out this little U-shape box up top and cut it. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to make a sketch on this front face, just like that. And in this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another rectangle, but in this case, I'm going to draw it right up top here, and notice how it's all blue and my rectangle is still selected, so I'm going to go to my function and I'm going to press escape so that it's not selected anymore, and then I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Press escape again, and then I'm going to grab the corner of that rectangle and I'm going to snap it to the top of my rectangle. Looks like it won't go. Looks like it won't snap to that geometry. That's not good. So I want the top of this rectangular line to be collinear with the top of my solid. So if I go to constraints, I can actually find the word collinear, and then I can pick the top of my, let me pick that again, collinear. I'm going to pick the top of my rectangle, and then I'm going to pick the top of my geometry of my solid, and notice how now it's locked.
Sure, guys.
So that's a good tool or trick. Okay, So we are going to now size this rectangular shape in such a way that it is the same size as this little notch as seen from the front view. So if you look, it's 2 units. So if I dimension, so create dimension this line to this edge. I don't like how I did that. I'm going to undo, come on. So I'm going to create a dimension, and I'm going to click on that line, and I'm going to click on, let me do that one more time. Undo, create dimension. So corner of the rectangle point to the corner of that point, and then drag it up. Why did that not work? Sorry guys, it's going to be stressful here, but so that point to this point, there we go. So 3 clicks. Go to my keyboard, type in the number 2. I'm going to do that again on the other side. Get the sketch palette out of the way. Go to my hand. Oops, close my keyboard. Go to my hand. Move this over a little bit. Okay, so here's what I did. Create dimension. Click on the endpoint there that just lit up. Click on the endpoint there, and then you can kind of click above right there. And then you can type in the number 2. Close your keyboard. And then for the bottom line, I'm going to go create dimension, endpoint there, drag it out, type in 2. Close your keyboard. All right, so if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see I've got that square notch. I'm going to finish my sketch, go to the corner, and I'm going to cut it all the way through just by dragging that arrow. And I'm going to make sure the operation is set to cut. I'm going to say OK. Now what I want to do is I want to cut this little corner from the I would say the top view, cut this little corner out here, which is 3 wide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 long. 3 by 5. No big deal. So I'm going to make a sketch, and in this case, I'm going to pick the top view right there, that top surface. And I'm going to make a rectangle, and this time I'm going to snap it to that corner, and I'm going to drag it out, let go right about there, and I'm going to dimension it to be 3 by 5.
Mr. Guy, sorry to interrupt you, but what was this video called again in Schoology?
Okay, let's see where we're at here. So now we've got our 3 by 5. So I'm going to square on top. So I'm going to finish my sketch. You can see where that square is. I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to grab those 2 profiles now. Grab the arrow and drag down to cut it. Make sure that the operation says cut, and then I'm going to hit OK. All right, so there we go. Now the last thing I want to do is make that little hole. All right, so I'm going to make a sketch, and I'm going to pick this face right there. And in this case now, I'm going to make a point. Most people would draw a circle, right? Center it, give it a size, and then cut it. And that would work. However, it's not the proper way of doing a hole. So I'm going to press escape, wherever that is. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to create a point. So it's under the create menu. It's called point. And I'm going to drop that point somewhere where that hole is supposed to go. And then I'm going to look at my drawing, and I'm going to figure out the dimensions. And it looks like it's 2.5. The center of the hole is 2.5 units off the front edge, and then looks like it's 1.5 off of this edge here. 1.5, 2.5. So this gives me the ability to create a dimension where it's, what is that? That's 2.5 off of that edge. So I'm going to go to my keyboard, type in 2.5, and then create another dimension from this point to this point, and then that's going to be 1.5. So with my center point located in the sketch, I can finish my sketch, and then I can create a hole. You'll see the hole menu come up, and all I got to do is pick the point with my stylus, and then you just scroll down, and all you have to do is specify the diameter of the hole, which according to my drawing it looks like it's 2 inches. Okay, and if you scroll back up, I missed this extents. You could specify how deep the hole goes, but in this case it goes through all, so it doesn't have a depth to it. And I'm going to hit OK. And now we have just completed isometric number 2.